Good afternoon and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm just trying to do something quickly here. We're going to talk about Bakassi and why it's evidence that we're not a democracy. We're going to go into that. But before we do that, I'd like you all to do me a favor, if you can, as ever. Please help me share the broadcast on platforms as much as you can. What we're going to do in the meantime is play this track right here. It's called How Long? It's by myself. I wrote it. It's produced by a very good friend of mine. And yeah, it's talking about the need for us as Yorubas, Igbos, Middle Belt, and Biafrans to actually stand up and go for self-determination. So let's proceed. So I'm going to play the track. Here we go. 1 minute. Let's get it here. Here we go. Sorry, let's start from the beginning. So welcome on board. What is Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to power.
Citizen AY.
Please share.
My people, I throw it a look. Make me hear. Determination. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? Gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? Gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? Gonna go this suffer? How long? Oh, how long?
How long? Yes, sir.
How long gonna go this suffer? Abdul Salam na
share.
Now you put that constitution for your head, yo.
Yes, sir.
Abdul Salam na fake man. Na military man can't tell you na say una get constitution. No be lie.
Na lie, yo. Na fake. Na fraud, Welcome on board.
That constitution.
Please share. Help us grow the platform. We need your help.
Make una wake up, whoa. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? My people, I won't make una no say self-determination, oh, now you're right, oh.
Confirm.
My people, I won't make una no say self-determination, now you're right, oh. Confirm. You must fight for your right. You must stand for your right. You must get up, stand up.
Yes, sir.
You must tell your people, for your village, for your town, for your city, any side country where you there, oh. Atiku, Emilokan, or Peter Obi no be the solution. Now the solution, now be the solution. Make una wake up, make una wake up. Time down now, bagam, Yoruba man, you be Biafran. I won't make who say self-determination, now your right you. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long?
Share, please. Thank you, brother majority.
Now your land, yo. Middle belt, now your land, yo. Hausa land, now your land, yo. Biafra land, now your land, yo. No be Nigeria, no be Nigeria, no be Nigeria, no be Nigeria. Ra, 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 oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome on board. Sorry, let me just make sure I mute that again. It was on automatic replay. So let me just, I'll stop it there for a second. So we're just going to leave the track there. It's a world exclusive. It was on here. It's a track I wrote, and a very good friend of mine did that. Produced it, and that track is there. I'll try and play it at every single broadcast. Now, you know something? We are close to the elections is going to take place. As much as we don't want it to, we are realists on this show. It is going to take place, but what we want you to do for us is this. Please share this broadcast because one thing, we want to give people the opportunity. Let me just put it here. So I'm coming. So 1 minute, please. Give me a second. I'm just trying to make sure we get as many people as possible to join us live. So I'm just putting that there. So bear with me, please. I might look slightly. Okay, so there we go. So what we're trying to do is to talk about the fact that, there is going to be an election, a fraudulent election, one we don't believe in. Let's be very clear. So let me just do something quickly, adjust something here. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Are you all with me? Can you see me there? Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that I want us to be very, very clear about, election will take place, but it's a fraudulent election. And that song, How Long, is to try and remind us that we have been suffering for a long time from injustice, from oppression, suppression by those in government. That is what that song is there for. Please, you can of course download it. Sorry about that. Oh, go back again. You can download it on iTunes and Spotify. And maybe when I do program next, we will go about, I can show you how you can do that. Just go and download it on iTunes and Spotify to help us reach more people, because we want it in our communities. The song is powerful. I'll play it again. I might play it again in between. But I really want the message to get out there that we are under oppression and illegal action by the military. And that's going to lead you to the next topic I'm going to talk about. But let me just check something right quick. I want to make sure I've got that information that I wanted to get, so that somebody can actually, 1 second. Okay, 1 second, do this for me. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so 1 second. I'm gonna do that right now. So we're gonna try and get this going, and just to reach more people. What we're trying to do is reach more people. So 1 second. So we might not stay too long on this broadcast, but what I'm trying to do is to get us to get, into this, what is going on, and we mustn't relent. What we are trying to do is encourage us all. Thank you very much, Majority Nice One. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate your comment. Let me pin that to, I'm going to pin that message right there. So I want you all to share the broadcast as you're getting in, and give us thumbs up. When you come in, give us thumbs up. We're trying to build this platform and we need your support in doing so. Click on the red button, subscribe, hit notification button, give us thumbs up. That way we reach more and more people. It helps with the algorithms. Now, I will play that later on again. Now, what I want us to do is that the more that we talk about, let me just check something right quick. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, that's fine. Now, we're going to talk about today the Bakassi conflict and how it exposes, it is the clearest indication that we are not a democracy. Yes, you heard me say it. Egbon Frank Bello did a broadcast recently where he actually talked about the Bakassi conflict in very, very particular terms that is actually relevant to the discussions. And I looked closely into it, and I'm going to read I'll read this document to you, and behind it you will see, you can see up there is the what you call it, the map even. So let's go back. Let me get that map up. I want to show you the map. Let me see if I can zoom sideways. Can we let me go sideways? It won't. Okay, but I'll show you. I wanted to show you the map so you can see Bakassi. So you can see, as it shows on the map, you can see that it's showing you Cameroon and Nigeria and Bakassi. So the issue here is this. Prior to it being handed to Cameroon, I think in 2006, it was again that's another issue with the colonials, the colonial era. They did a lot of injustice. They cut lines across. Again, that's why I keep telling us that Nigeria is not a nation; it's a contraption. Did you know that Cameroon used to be part of Nigeria? By the way, how many of you knew that Cameroon was indeed part of Nigeria? How many people knew this? In the old map, there is an old map which I will get out somewhere, and it actually shows on that during when they still had the forcible northern lower Niger, upper Niger, lower Niger, northern protectorate, southern protectorate. Cameroon was part of Nigeria. It was. And we're going to go into, in fact, I will do a program about that. So you really understand what's been going on. Cameroon was under, was one with Nigeria. There is a map which I have somewhere, which I will actually go into detail and show you. Now, it was when they now said, okay, they gave us the illusionary independence. Oh, no, Cameroon is separate, Nigeria is separate. All of that is all babble. It's all to confuse. So, but the essential point I want you to look at is the Bakassi. Let me see if I can go into it. Can I go into it a little bit more? Yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can go into it just a little bit more. Let me get my glasses on. I'm trying to find the Bakassi thing there. So because there's a place between Nigeria and, you can see there is a connection, and I think, yeah, area of Bakassi, international boundary, So let me see if I can, I'm trying to get right down to it. So you can see that there's, it used to be part of Nigeria, but now they've made it Cameroon, and those are the kind of things that we're talking about, and it's oil rich. Now the question is, how did it end up in the hands of Cameroon? How did it end up in the hands of Cameroon? I hope I'm seeing the right place, showing the right place. I'm trying to get to it as close as possible. So it says the international district, road, the international boundary. I'm just trying to see if I can give you as much information. I think it's around here anyway. You can see that there's where there's the white line saying Bakassi, I think, the yellowish kind of thing there. But anyway, the most important thing in all of this is that we need to really understand that Bakassi was Nigeria, was a Nigeria, part of Nigeria. Now, what I want you to now, let's go into detail a little bit about that. So I'm gonna, I'll zoom this back. Let me zoom back out, and then I'll hide that one. Now let's read how Bakassi ended up in the hands of Cameroon. Let's read that. And I want you to understand something. Then I would then come and that would then give us a bit more context as to why we are saying categorically that Bakassi is. 1 second, please. Let me just check something. I want to just check something right quick. There is something that is bugging me about this setup at the minute. Sorry about that. And I'm trying to make sure it is reflective of where it should be. Okay. Yeah, I think that's correct, but I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. I'm just checking it. So, okay. Okay, we're going to go back. So now, there was a report back in 2020, I think it's 2020, is it 2012? So 2012, yes, let's say 2012. A guy called Dr. Walter Ofonagoro. I hope I'm saying it right. Ofonagoro, I think. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying the right word, but do excuse me. He says here, the Lagos former Minister of Information, Dr. Walter Ofonagoro, has revealed that one of the major reasons General Yakubu Gowon ceded Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon was to block food and arms from coming into the defunct Republic of Biafra. Do you see that? To block. It wasn't to do with any. I'm going to come back and explain that. Listen to the words. I want you to consider the words. Then I'll come back and explain. And this perfectly exemplifies why when we say that Nigeria is not a democracy, it's a fraud. This is a clear evidence. Now, and we will read into detail about how the hands of Obasanjo was tied based on the actions taken by Gowon. So let's go on into it. So you can see now they ceded it to block food from coming into to supply the combatants. So they gave land away. So let's go ahead and look. Making the revelation in a keynote address entitled Igbo shall be victorious at the Igbo Day. Celebrations in Lagos on Saturday, Ofonago said that when it became obvious that it would be impossible to defeat Biafran soldiers, the then Nigerian government opted for economic blockade of the old eastern region. His words, I want to say that Bakassi Peninsula belongs to the people of old eastern region. But during the war, the Nigerian soldiers discovered that Biafran soldiers were their match. So they opted for economic blockade of the region. Oh, let me just answer this one. Bro, hello, I'm on a live broadcast just now. Hello? Okay. Not bad. I'm on a live broadcast just now. Would you mind if I call you back? I'm on a live broadcast. Thanks. Bye. So what I'm going to try and going back to what I was saying, it is very important. Please don't forget what I said. To block was to block food. The purpose of ceding, General Yakubu Gowon ceded Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon was to block food and arms from coming into the defunct Republic of Biafra. So you now begin to understand. What the motive was. And I'm going to read this whole story, then I'll then give you my own take on how that shows that we are not a democracy. So now it says, making this revelation in the keynote address entitled Igbo shall be victorious at the Igbo Day celebration in Lagos on Saturday, Ofonagoro said that when it became obvious that it would be impossible to defeat Biafran soldiers, the then Nigerian government opted, don't forget they are military, they opted for economic blockade of the old eastern region. His words, I want to say that Bakassi Peninsula belonged to the people of the old eastern region, but during the war, the Nigerian soldiers discovered that the Biafran soldiers were their match, so they opted for economic blockade. It was in the process that Gowon went into negotiation with the president of Cameroon and ceded the oil-rich region to them so that the blockade would be effective. Now, that is a very important point. So at this point, it's an oil-rich area. Let me just go and bring that map up again, so you can see it. So, if by all accounts it looks like it's that one there. If I'm correct, it could be. It says Bakassi, so I'm gonna try and find the word Bakassi. I'm trying to find it, if I could find it, but I think it's around there. You can see that that's Nigeria and that is Cameroon. So it will be one of these areas here that will be Bakassi. I'm not too familiar 100%, but that's what it seems to be looking at. So there's not written exactly expressly. If I saw it, of course, then I can say definitely for definite that that's Bakassi. But it is an oil. Sorry, what am I talking about? Sorry, I don't know why sorry. I was just, it just jumped at me. So now, so here is this is the Bakassi Peninsula. Forgive me, I don't know. I just zoned out. So this is Bakassi Peninsula here. You can see it, Aquabana Island. So this is Bakassi, and apparently it is meant to be oil rich. Now, the point I want to bring your attention to is this. The point I want to bring your attention to, and thanks for Egmo Frank Milo for actually bringing this fact out and making us to be able to know and revisit that history and understand what really happened. Because a lot of times the history that we are told and the reality are two different things. So we have to really understand now that a lot of attempts have been made to blame Obasanjo. On this one, he has no blame whatsoever. Very much like Egbo Frank Bello said, he has no blame whatsoever. The man that did the damage was Gowon. And I'll see if I can get a picture of him up to show you when he signed that deal, if I can. But what you're looking at here, let me zoom in so you can see more. That's the peninsula there. So I was just trying to, so there we go. So this is an area that they ceded. It used to be Eastern region, but it was ceded. Now, why was it ceded? Because they weren't winning the war. So the people of this area had no say. They had zero say in what happened to them. Are you following me? Is it making sense to you? I hope it's making sense. Oh, sorry about that. I need to come back in here. I want to change something. Sorry, I just did something that was a bit off. Okay, so come back here. Give me a minute and I'll show you. Okay, so. Sorry, 1 minute, please. Just give me a minute. I just need, for purposes to make it clearer, it is better that I have that map on the screen so you can actually be able to follow what I'm doing. So now here we are, and here we are. So now, what Gowon did, it effectively, let me see if I can move it to the side, is I'm going to scroll this down so you can see, was to cede all of this area that you see, to cede it without consulting the people of the area. Yes, granted, it's a war situation. They were not consulted. They made a decision right there. The people were, after that, going to be no longer Nigeria, but they would be Cameroonians without consultation. This is military action. There was no referendum to take place, or even after the war. Do you want to? There was no discussion. So you can see right away that is the same thing that was done with contraption Nigeria as a whole in 1999. Without consultation with the people, they have given us a constitution that we never signed up to. Again, let me bring that document up, as you all know. So there is a connection, and this is they have history of doing this. When somebody tells you this is who they are, there's a saying, believe them. When somebody tells you this is who they are, you have to believe them. Now, let me go and get this correct here. Please share this broadcast. Please share this broadcast. I would really appreciate your help and support in growing this platform. And I'll pause it and play that song again to generate and then get us to really, do the things we need to do for freeing ourselves. Because the time has really come now. We can no longer, ignore what is really staring us in the face. We need to take collective action together to free ourselves from bondage. Because believe you me, there is no other way to put it. We are in bondage. Now, 1999 Constitution. The similarity between the Bakassi Peninsula and being ceded was the people were not consulted, and they were not contacted. They didn't ask any questions. They were not consulted as to whether or not they wanted to be part of Cameroon. If they wanted to be Cameroon or Nigeria, they weren't consulted. For expediency purposes, for war, to suit their aims, they said if you block them off, if you block them off after the war, we will give you the whole of Bakassi Peninsula. With the people, are we chattel? Are we chattel? The same thing happens when you now look at what is contraption Nigeria. By the way, slave camp. Let me put that there. I'm just putting it out there. So let me just make that smaller so you can see. I'm trying to paint a picture here so you can follow the thread of what we're saying. So beg your pardon. Just trying to make sure. So there you go. So you can see now that slave camp Nigeria, they imposed, this is effectively what slave camp Nigeria means. They imposed the military without consultation with the whole of the people. Don't forget, it's almost like the Bakassi Peninsula was like a test run of how much power they could wield. So when they got away with that in 2000, they got away with that in during the 67-70 war. They thought, well, since we got away, nobody has said anything. We are going to take the whole country. Can you see? That is what we are saying now. There was no place. This is slave camp Nigeria, and I maintain so. I maintain it that way because, again, as many of you will know, if those of you who are following Citizen on this platform, you will know that on this platform, we've always stated and we remain resolute that the Constitution of Nigeria is nothing but a military decree, and it says so. It's a promulgation decree, a military decree. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, promulgation decree number 24 of 1999. Imposed on the people, yet again, the similarity between the Bakassi people and we, the so-called the so-called people of citizens of Nigeria. Well, we were not consulted before they imposed this on us. Just like the Bakassi people were not consulted before they were moved from Nigeria to Cameroon, lock, stock, and barrel. I hope this is making sense. I hope this is making sense. Type 1 if what I'm saying makes sense. If it resonates with you, please do not forget to share what you are hearing. It is really important. We're trying to get as many people as possible to really understand what has been done to us here. And we have to really wake up and confront this injustice, because this is sheer injustice. And I'm going to go over this again and again and again and again, because it is of immense importance that we really understand what was done. Let me just quickly do something as I'm talking to you now. Just going to confirm something. I want to just check something. So it is of immense importance that we understand what was done. So let's go back over that again. The first thing that I want you to do is to look at this. Look at the peninsula. The peninsula. Look at this. This is the Bakassi Peninsula. Yeah, you see that? That's the Bakassi Peninsula right there. All of that is the Bakassi Peninsula. And General Yakubu Gowon, let's find his picture. We'll bring this picture up. He ceded it because they could not defeat the Biafrans. And they thought, okay, if we promise to give you that, then they would effect a blockade to the Cameroonians would then blockade the routes where the food and things, supplies of the Biafrans will come in. So on the basis of that, they now said, okay, you will get Bakassi without consulting the people. And the similarity I'm putting to you is this. I'm putting this to you is this. Look at that. So let me do that plus that one. It's the same thing has happened to contraption Nigeria. All of this was taken the minute the military decided to impose the fraudulent 1999 constitution on all of us. So anyway, I'll come back to that later. So what I'm really trying to get us to understand is this is the same thing. It is very much the same thing, but on a bigger scale. Since they signed off, Obasanjo apparently reluctantly agreed to the deal. So let's now go and look at the documentation proper. So now I've given you the background. Let's look at what led to the giving away of the land that belonged to Igbo people, the so-called Nigeria, without consultation. Without consultation. Without consultation. Now, let's go and read the document. Here we go. So, it says here, the Bakassi conflict is ongoing. Insurgency we started in 2006 in the Bakassi Peninsula of Cameroon, waged by local separatists against Cameroon government forces. You see, so the local people, they believe that they're not Cameroonians because they didn't sign up to it. Now that I've given you context and picture of what happened and how the same thing has happened to us as so-called Nigerians, you now understand why the separatists are intent. They don't want to be part of Cameroon. They don't. Because they're not Cameroonians. They weren't consulted. It was imposed upon them. Are you following me? Please share this broadcast. It is really important, the message that we have in this broadcast. And even later on, you can watch it. So let me come back. Let us do a little pause. We're going to play a bit of song. And then we'll come back and discuss this again. So let's do this. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Let's listen to How Long. The song is intended, it's in pidgin English. How long will I go to suffer? The people of Bakassi are suffering because of a document imposed upon them by the military. They didn't have any say. They were seated without their consent. We are being made to be Nigerians without our consent, is what we're saying. The same thing applies. Listen to this now. How long will I go to suffer? Let's listen. Come on. Share the broadcast. Share this broadcast. Come on, continue. Let's share the broadcast. Let's reach more people. This song will be played at, as I said, on the broadcast, on the platform every time. Let's go.
Determination. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? Abdul Salam na fake man. Now he put that constitution for your head, yo. That's all. Abdul Salam na fake man. Na military man can't tell you na say una get constitution. No be lie. Na lie, yo. Na fake. Na fraud, oh. That constitution. Now him then they claim close to na high, yo. Make una wake up. Make una wake up. Oh. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? Emi lo kan, or Peter Obi no be the solution. Na the solution, na it be the solution. Make una wake up, make una wake up. Time down knock, bagam, in Yoruba man, you be Biafran. I want make una know say, self-determination, now your right you. How long? How long? How long? How long una go dey suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long una go dey suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long una go dey suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long una go dey suffer? Yoruba land na your land yo. Middle belt na your land yo. Hausa land na your land yo. Biafra land na your land yo. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. La 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 oh.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that song. That song is something we will try and be playing as often as we can in between broadcasts, just to bring the thing, to bring it home, to make us understand what has been done to us. Please share this broadcast. I'm urging you, share this broadcast. Let it reach more people, because what has been done to us is truly, truly unacceptable. Again, just a quick recap. Before you go, if you haven't got, if you want to download this song, you can go straight to iTunes and Spotify. How Long Una Go Dey Suffer is on there. Go down there, download the track. Please give us a thumbs up if you're coming in. Everybody coming in, please think of it as you're wiping your feet at the door before you come into the house. So the same thing, when you come into Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, give us a thumbs up, hit the notification button, and of course subscribe. We really do need your support. We need your help to build this platform up. We can't rely on Facebook anymore. Facebook are always blocking what we're doing. So every time you help us to share the broadcast, please, you're reaching more people, and it helps to reach to raise the level of awareness. So the track, like I said once again, I'll give more details about how you can get it on it. You can download it on iTunes and on Spotify. And the reason why I say that is because if you download it on your phone and you share it to family and friends at home, they can listen to it. The words are in pidgin English, and it's a language that everybody understands, from Yoruba to Igbo to Middle Belt. Even the Hausas understand how long una go dey suffer. They all understand the words, and we need to awaken our people that we have the power and the right to self-determination, and that is what the struggle is all about. So please help us share this broadcast. It is of really immense importance. So let's proceed. So now, you've now got the context now. We now understand that the same thing that happened to Bakassi when in the 1967-70 war, when Gowon, without consulting the people, ceded Bakassi to Cameroon to such an extent now that there is an ongoing insurgency which started in 2006. Because the people in the area suddenly realized that they are not Cameroon. The government of Nigeria ceded them without their consent. They were ceded without their consent. And they are telling you to believe in one Nigeria. Yet again, the people who ceded Bakassi took the whole of Nigeria by the actions they took in imposing a fraudulent 1999 constitution on all of us. That is what I am putting before you. So let us just look at that again. I want to just give you a bit more. You see, it's important to give context. Context is everything. Oftentimes, a lot of times, when you get the context there, people can relate to it. What we're trying to do on the shows like this is to give you the context, to be able to think about this. Go away yourself. Watch the program. Share it with people live. Let them reason this out themselves as well. And the evidence that I'm putting before you are things that are facts that cannot be disputed in any way, shape, or form. You know, they're just facts. They are facts as they stand. So let me just drop this down. I want you to just see the thing there, so you understand where we're going. because the most important thing is this: without consulting the people via a referendum, they imposed the promulgation decree number 24 of 1999 on us all without consulting us. Just like they took the whole of Bakassi, which you see in the map. Let me show you the map of Bakassi. The whole of Bakassi there, all of that was taken overnight from being inside Nigeria to inside Cameroon. The same thing, the overnight, without consulting us, deciding if we wanted to be one Nigeria, if we wanted the constitution of Nigeria, they imposed that constitution, and with that constitution, they took over the whole land. Are you following me? I hope this makes sense. Type 1 if what I'm saying makes sense. Please help us to share this broadcast. It's really important. The information that we're sharing here is to awaken our people, to make us question everything. We must question everything. I'm grateful for all of you watching us on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll try and do this in Yoruba later on at some point, but I really wanted to touch on this. And you can see, I put, okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So what Ayomiku one? Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes. So it is really important that we understand that we are under the same. Omoto Shonlaumi, thank you so much. Ayomiku Daniju, thank you so much for the one as well. Because we need to be engaging and sharing this. Our people are not aware of this history. You see, this history, it was like the Bakassi was a test ground for what the bigger project of taking the whole land. Firstly, they gave Bakassi without the consent of the people of Bakassi. That is why the people are revolting. It says the Bakassi conflict is an ongoing insurgency which started in 2006 in the Bakassi Peninsula of Cameroon. So, you see, when you hear that, you think, oh, they're Cameroon. But look at the map. Look at the map again. And I will read to you the story so we understand. We need to really contextualize and make sure people understand what has been done. Now, let's look at the map. The Bakassi Peninsula. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, Nigeria ceded all of this. They ceded it to the Cameroonians because they wanted to achieve the ultimate goal of defeating Biafrans without asking the people if they wanted to be Cameroonians or Nigerians. Can you see already? Nobody gave them such right. The people in that area have the right to self-determination, but they've taken that away from them. That is the fact. That is the reality. Do you agree? Please continue to share this podcast. Let us reach more people. Let us make sure that people can actually discuss this. And if you're watching afterwards, please do leave comments. We want your comments. The more you comment on it, the more you share it, the more you like it, the more you hit the like button, the more it will reach more people. And that is what we're trying to do here, to get us to really be thinking independently. So now, let's go and read the story. So it says here, local is waged by local separatists. The people there have the right to self-determination, very much like I've been saying in the song. We have the right to self-determination. So they are calling them separatists, but no, they didn't ask to be part of Cameroon. They didn't. Go on. Let me get a picture of Go On out so you can see, because its context is very much part of all of this discussion. So let me show you Go On. So here we are. So you'll see Go On coming up. So Go On, in order to be able to defeat Ojukwu, he ceded this land. Let me show you. 1 second, please. He ceded Bakassi because it would effect a blockade. He decided to cede Bakassi. Let me see if I can. He decided to cede Bakassi to Cameroonians. So you can see what is happening here. It is trickery. It is fraud. It is bad governance. This is a dictatorship action. Expediency without regard for the rights of the people to decide via self-determination if they wanted to be in Bakassi. So there, I'm just going to do this because I don't, Ojukwu is a great hero, and I'm sure that when Biafra Nation comes, he will have a special place in history. He will have a special place in history. Now, so next to the man who ceded Cameroon, ceded Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon, you can see that's what he did. That's what he did. You can see he ceded that place without the permission of the people, and that is the point that we're trying to make here. So now let's carry on with the broadcast and with the reading. I'm just giving you context. So now, after the independence, the Cameroon and Nigeria, the border between them was not settled, and there were other disputes. The Nigerian government declaimed the border was that prior to British-German agreements. You see, can you see British-German agreement? What did that tell you in 1913? Prior to British-German agreement in 1913. So Cameroon was indeed part of Nigeria right until 1913. Did you see that? But then they were telling you that they were doing a 1915 whatever Lord Lugard nonsense. This was the agreement that they were trying to hide from all of us. What was done in the dark will always come out in the light. This was the agreement they were trying to hide, because it says here the border was prior to the British-German agreement in 1913, and Cameroon claimed the border laid down by the British-German agreement. The border dispute worsened in 1980s and 1990s after the same border incidents occurred, which caused war between the two countries. We are Africans, and we are fighting ourselves over the borders created by colonials. Can you see how absurd that is? Do you see how absurd this is? That's why I wanted to break this down, because a lot of people are not thinking about this. Oh, we're Nigeria. Who created it? Who created it? These are the questions we should be asking. Nigeria will come out and exactly. Thank you, Ayomiku Daniju. Thank you. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to pin that. Honestly, that's a very good statement. And Nigeria will come. Let me just see if I can find it. And Nigeria will come, and Nigeria media will come out on the anniversary of the Civil War without touching the history. They've been told not to touch it. They don't want people to know this history, because when you dig into this history, everything that is done in the dark will come out. Please share this broadcast. I urge you. Share this broadcast, because it needs to reach a lot more people. We need to be questioning everything you've been told. Everything. We need to question it. I've got about 20 minutes here. If I don't finish this broadcast, I will come back. I will read from where I left off. I promise you. But what I want you to do, it is a joke. It is a total joke. Ayomiku Daniju. An absolute joke. So now they said here the border dispute was in the 1980s and 1990s after some border incidents occurred, which almost caused a war between the two countries. Can you see? So all of this, again, they don't realize. The African countries fighting each other don't realize. Hit the like button. Yes. If I may call me. Yes. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. Please hit the like button. As you're coming in, wipe your feet, hit the like button, share this broadcast. It has got very vital information hidden from you and I for so long. It is time that we woke up. It is time. Now, let's carry on. So, in 1994, Cameroon went to International Court of Justice. They went to International Court of Justice based on the agreement that Gowon signed for military expediency. He signed away the people that I'm about to show you in this area. Let me show you. He signed away. Let me put this picture up as well, because we need to be sure when we're talking about this, the person who did this is right next in the picture. He's got to be in the picture. It's nothing to do with Ojukwu. Ojukwu, he'll have a pride of place in Biafra when Biafra comes, and it will come. It will come. It will come. Look at this. For military expediency, without consulting the people of Bakassi, he ceded over. And once he did, when the war ended, what happened? Cameroon took the case to court in 1994, went to the International Court of Justice to avoid war with Nigeria after many armed clashes and in the disputed regions. 8 years later, The ICJ ruled in Cameroon's favor and confirmed the 19th border made by the British and Germans as the international border between the two countries. Nigeria confirmed they would transfer Bakassi to Cameroon. This was done. So the action taken under Obasanjo's reign was, his hands were already tied. I hope you can see. His hands were, it's important we understand how all of this was done. It's important we look at and break all of this down. Again, I keep telling to people, I keep saying to you all, the border between so-called Nigeria and Cameroon were one until 1913. So when they talk about Lord Lugan, the Northern and Southern Protectorate, all that was a ruse to protect, to hide the fact that they have reached an agreement between Germany and UK. Because if that agreement had not taken place, the Northern and Southern Protectorate that we're talking about would not stand. They would still be fighting over it. But many of us are not reasoning. That is why we bring programs like this. Please hit the like button, share this broadcast, let it reach as many people as possible. We need people to really understand. What I'm telling you here is showing you conclusively that in no way, shape, or form is Nigeria a democracy. The actions that have been taken, a single person decided the fate of the people of Bakassi without consulting them. And the person is none other than Gowon. Gowon, without consulting the people of Bakassi. Thank you very much. If I may come, thank you. So let me just replace pin. So I'll be sharing the broadcast, and I want you all, as you're watching this, if it resonates with you, type 1, hit like button, encourage others. Very much like if I may call me, I think Aro. Sorry if I'm not saying it well. Forgive me. If I may call me Aro, something like that. So yes. So what we are saying here is that without consulting the people of Bakassi, they took away their right to decide for themselves where or who they want to be. They made them Cameroonians without their say so, and that's why they're revolting. But nobody knows the history. People will say they're just fighting, or they're just fighting. They just want to. They're just insurgents, whereas they had no say because of the actions of Gowon in sending them to a foreign country. This is the, Ifa has given me breath. Okay, yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Eshu. Yes, I understand that now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mimi, Mimi. Okay. If I may call me, call me. Aro. Yes, I understand now. Yes, Mimi, I understand. Okay, I get that. Thank you so much for the clarification, my brother. And I do apologize if I'm not saying it right. Oftentimes I'm trying to go from Yoruba and, but when I'm doing the Yoruba, I'm so Yoruba, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So what we are trying to do is to make us understand that the same thing that happened to the Bakassi people, whereby somebody signed a document in that 1967 war, whereby the people had no say, and then they made them overnight from being Nigerians to Cameroonians, and they are fighting. Perhaps they might have been fighting at far longer than what they're saying, but they've been hiding it. And these are the kind of things that we are talking about. We need to know this kind of information. So please, if you are watching this broadcast, if it resonates with you, share, reach more people with this information. Very important. So we are saying that this man here has to answer to the people of Bakassi. But the government don't want people to know this fact. They don't want people to know that this was what a single person did. This man did this to the people of Bakassi, just like Abdul Salam did to us. General Abdul Salam did to us in imposing that fraudulent 1999 constitution, which I'm going to bring up on you and I, and it's impacting our lives till today. Every single one of us who are abroad today is because of that 1999 constitution. let us be very, very clear. Every single one of us that are abroad today is purely because of the imposition of that fraudulent 1999 constitution that has negatively impacted our lives till date. That is why we are saying to you all, we have got to go back and retrace and understand our history. So that is the similarity. They imposed this fraudulent 1999 constitution on us without our say so. No referendum took place. Likewise, when they ceded Bakassi to Cameroonians, no referendum took place among the people living in that area. Let me show you the people. That is it. The people in that area, they were not given, and they had no say whatsoever. In an oil-rich area, they had no say. So they transferred the future of those people into the hands of a foreign country to be oppressed as they see fit, because of expediency of trying to win a war using by all means necessary. Can you see what I'm saying? So it's important we understand the fundamentals of this. So let's carry on. So in June 2006, Nigeria signed, and that was when Obasanjo signed it. So you now see that Obasanjo was blameless in all of this. He was given a bad hand by those who were so-called ruling Nigeria. And it's interesting, isn't it? You're telling us to be one Nigeria, but you are giving up parts of one Nigeria already. You are giving up what more parts? I'm hearing that there's a part, there might be a place in the Chad that has got an agreement again that they're giving away. So we need to go and they keep telling you to believe in one Nigeria. So the only one Nigeria, as long as they give it away, it's okay. But when you say no, you don't want to be part of it, oh, you can't do it. But it's only them that can give it away. Can you see the hypocrisy? Can you see the double standards? Does it make sense what I'm saying to you? Can you see the, yeah, but you come exactly. He forgot history will come back. Let me pin that one. I'm gonna pin that's yeah. So I'm gonna pin that. That's another very interesting point you made there, Ayomiku Daneju. Ayomiku Daneju. Yes. So yes. So now what? So this is you can see the more you read this, the more it uncovers so many truths that they've hidden from us for so long. So let's carry on. I think I'll be back. I'm probably gonna have to stop here and come back. It's really getting interesting. So I'm gonna leave it at this point, I think, because I'm thinking I've got to make a move out in the next few minutes, but I'll come back. So we will continue from where I left, what I'm standing here, finish here. But what I want to do at this point juncture, so let me just see. So it says there in 2006, Nigeria signed the Green Tree Agreement, which marked the formal transfer of authority in the region and the Nigerian army, partly withdrew from Bakassi. The move was opposed by many Bakassians who considered themselves to be Nigerians, and they started to arm themselves 2nd of July 2006. Now, can you see that if you don't talk about this story, people will not understand? Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Go to Benio. Benny, if I'm komi, aro. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to pin that message. Very well said. So the message said here, it says here, grassroots awareness with history and benefits will educate the people for code to Yoruba nation. Thank you. These are right. That's exactly, my brother. You've got in exactly why I'm talking about you. Why I'm talking about Bakassi Peninsula. This is why I'm talking about it, because it actually gives us the opportunity to expose the lies of what you call one Nigeria. I'm exposing the deep lies of what we call one Nigeria. By now, you see, it is sad. We are talking about 1 billion %. Absolutely. So we are by now. If we were abusing each other now, do you know that there will be over 1,000 people following us right now? If I was abusing this one, abusing that. But when we are talking about things that will change the lives of people, look how many people are here. Because it is time, our awareness, we need to change our mindset. I am grateful for each and every one of you who are here right now, witnessing the uncovering of hidden facts. We are uncovering facts that can change the minds of many, very much like Ifamimi Komi grassroots said, grassroots awareness with history and benefits will educate the people for code to Yoruba nation. Absolutely. That is exactly the point of why we are doing programs like this. We want to raise the level of awareness within our community so that people can know what they're standing for. And like Ayomiku Daniju said, if I'm Mikomi, Arrow agreed 1 billion%. And I am in a complete agreement. So I give you a thumbs up for that. Continue to please like this broadcast. Please share this. Let people see this. And I'll probably be wrapping it up here for now. I'll come back and do the other bit later on. Let me just see. So let me see. Now it says so since July 2nd, 2006, the people of Bakassi, who are formerly Nigerians are now called Cameroonians because of Gowon, they've been rebelling. 2 years later, Nigerian army fully withdrew from Peninsula and it transitioned to Cameroonian control. More than 50 people were killed between the start of the conflict and the full withdrawal of the Nigerians. The conflict likely ended September 2009 with amnesty deal. Since then, sporadic clashes have occurred in Bakassi. One only local group, the Bakassi Freedom Fighters, and the militants of the Niger Delta, as well as Biafran separatists, continue to fight. Exactly. So you can see, I'm giving you, I'll come back and read all of that. There's a bit more that I'm going to come and read to you. So, but for now, I want to leave you with this song because I will keep that song is a powerful song. If you can, share it with people. Tell them to go down, download it on YouTube and Spotify. It's called How Long? Then I'll come back and I will come and do the second part of the broadcast later on. But for now, let me just leave you with this track. So I will leave this track out and we will end with this track. I thank you so much for joining. But before you go, listen to it, share it. Play this to everybody. Here we go.
My people, self-determination. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? Abdul Salam na fake man. Now he put that yeah constitution for your head, yo. Abdul Salam na fake man. Now military man can't tell you na say una get constitution. No be lie. Na lie, oh, na fake, na fraud, oh. That yeah constitution. Now him then they claim close to na high, oh. Make una wake up, make una wake up, oh. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go But Peter Obi no be the solution. Now the solution, now it be the solution. Make una wake up, make una wake up. Time down knock, bagam. In Yoruba man, you be Biafran. I want make una know say self-determination. Now your right you. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this suffer? Yoruba land na your land yo. Middle belt na your land yo. Hausa land na your land yo. Biafra land na your land yo. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. No be Nigeria. La 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 la. Oh.
Thank you so much, Ayomiku Daniju. Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining me now. I'll come back and do the second part of this broadcast later on. I'll be back later on to finish this broadcast, but please do share. It's a program we must revisit time and again. Thank you so much. I'll come and do the second part of the broadcast and explain. I continue to expose the fraud we call Nigeria. It is through awareness that we can dismantle Nigeria, nothing else. Community awareness, collective awareness, and collective responsibility to dismantle this fraud that has impoverished all of us collectively. Thanks for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power.